Hey, it's Laura at Hyperstamper. I have another one finished. I'm very excited. This is a big one. This beautiful 1940s teacher's edition of Look and Learn, an American school teacher's book for school children, is almost 8 inches by 10.5. So it's a dilly, this one. I put an antique door pull on here. It's brass. And I made a crazy side bangle here. It's got not a vintage tassel, but it does have vintage keys rusted the same color as this, and a vintage brooch piece, some vintage bead necklace. This I got in a vintage jewelry lot, but I don't think it's vintage at all, but I did think it was cool. I left the necklace intact so you can actually wear it. I just thought for a children's book it's really cool. It says Look and Learn, so there you go. The cover is well worn. I tried to clean it up as best I could. I love the teal color, the back here, and the spine came to me damaged, so I just put some fabric down the side there. Let's take a look inside. You're going to love this. A little dictionary page here with a beautiful bird on it that I made. A tuck from a belly. The belly band is made from the interior spine of a very old book. A little piece of crochet here to cover the screw. Just a bunch of clusters in the first page of the book. Look at these little spaniels up here. Isn't that adorable? Love the colors. The original date of publication here, 1943. This is an original plate from the 1904 Career and Ives plate book. This is plate 91 and 92. I believe this is a beautiful ballerina here. And then we've got the New York Light Guards on the other side. This is a page from this teacher's edition book. Teacher may have cut these up for her lessons, sort of shows what happens. Same here, growing seeds into flowers, and I followed that with a vintage botanical page. Made this little pocket here and tucked in a 1938 French almanac page, little hidden journaling spot here and here. And on this side is an 1890s full page from Demarest Family Magazine. Beautiful women on here. One of the articles is the life of an athletic girl, and she's wearing like a full gown. Good luck doing yoga in that. This came from the vintage card box. I was going to throw it out, and then I thought, nope, I think you can still journal on that, and it's pretty cool. And that's quite old, actually, because Prince Edward is very young here when he visited Canada. This is from the 1905 art education book, that page, and I just made this journaling spot here with antique paper on one side, and this is from the early 1900s, like a chick-a-dee-dee-dee, little song here that you can sing. 1950s receipt tucked into a pocket made from a 1930s children's book page, The Three Bears. And then this is a plate from that beautiful 1955 Poland, let me get this right, Poland embroidery. Yes, they're famous for that, and it is stunning plates there. We've got an antique book page here, and that's tucked into another children's book pocket. This one has the bunnies living in the tree, and this is a wonderful plate from a vintage book, Marquet, and that particular one there is of a Paris scene. And you can actually take that plate off and reuse it or frame it. And these are banknotes from the 20s. And they're really cool texture. You'll love them. Vintage 1950s post collectors. Stamp book page. We've got a fun cluster here and some antique paper journaling spots. More vintage botanicals. Another page from this book. Original page. Tons of white space when they're this big, right? So you can do artwork, mixed media, journaling. This is just a full page, double-sided from the 1964 Illustrated London News. So that beauty is 60 years old in of itself. And this is a book from the 1800s that just disintegrated. I could not save it to make a journal out of it. So I made this beautiful pocket. It's leather. It's got the gold embossing. It's fabulous. And this is also a page from the book. I just thought it was fun because it had the library stamp from the Board of Education there. And I made this pocket out of a vintage cross-stitch piece on cotton. Very soft, beautiful cotton children's book page illustration here. Vintage doily. I'm trying to go as fast as I can because it's a big book. This is an antique map of Scotland. It's fabulous. colorful, just gorgeous. I'm so pleased with this book. I can't even stand it. A vintage recipe page, 1920s, a notebook from a children's school book. Fun little cluster there. Artichoke. Who knew it had pretty flowers? I did not. This is a plate, or a book page, sorry, from the Sunday Reading for the Young, How to Identify the Birds, 1800s, and then we've got the rest of that map. A really fun vintage playing card that you can upcycle, and a vintage glass and envelope here for stamp collectors with 4 vintage and antique stamps in there. Another children's illustration. Another page from this book of trees, shade trees, that is. Fruit trees. These are so beautiful. I was going to originally cut them up and use them as inserts, and I couldn't do it. They're too beautiful, and they tell a story together, so I sucked it up and did that. A great check. You can see the paid and the pounded dots there. Fun on the back and fun on the front from the 50s. And speaking of the 50s, a 1950s bingo card here. That would have been used in a bingo hall, you know, by the Shriners or a community group. Really fun. And this was one of those hand-typed pieces that the government had typing pools make when they collected the telegrams that had the news articles of the day. It was the only way they could keep track of what the heck was going on in the country and the world. And over here is a great, I couldn't give up one for the other, so I just kept them both on here. So you wouldn't lose the great writing. This is a camper from Jones summer camp, and this is one of the counselor, 1931. And speaking of the early 1900s, this one's from 1905. This beautiful church in Strood. Is that lovely? Middlesex, England. Really fun needlepoint there. This is from the early 1900s. We've got brownies, which are like little fairies, and a early 1900s poetry book, California Troubadour, a plate from a school book here. How lovely that is. Miriam and her maidens. More brownies over here, and on the back we've got this beautiful illustration here, and I know a lot of people collect fairies. And in the corners, it took me a while to see it. There are little fairies watching this girl with her lamb. It's just stunning. I think this is hilarious. Bingo and the Angry Rooster, 1930s. And I've got this double plate here from a vintage book on artwork, and this one is Diego Velázquez, double-sided, and it is from the 1870s, the painting replica. And this is from 1923, and I believe it is from the book Wheels on Parnassus. And you can journal in there or just look at it because it's absolutely gorgeous. Another would have been a teen book here from the 40s. Little cluster or piece here from a 1907 London Times. Vintage sewing instructions. Vintage songbook. Fun clusters. 1950s, 1940s pocketbook dictionary page with an antique songbook made into a journaling page, and this beautiful cover from a children's knitting book. Love it. There's so much in here. I'm just thrilled with this book. A little booklet here made of antique paper. 8 stamps collected on this page from the Japan section of that stamp collector's book. And oh my gosh, 1800s marbled page here. And the last page is from the book. So that's going up on Etsy, hyperstamper.etsy.com. Free shipping and ridiculously cheap. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.